Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see from the title, today we're going to be doing a full in-depth talk through some of my favorite concealers. Some of these are going to be for spot concealing, some of them are going to be more for brightening, but all in all, these are going to be the top 10 concealers in my collection. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching, and please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload 3 times a week, and that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So if you're interested in concealers and what's best for you, keep on watching. So I'm going to start with this one just to get it out of the way. It is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I use the shade Light Medium Honey as my I'm going to say neutralizing shade. This is something that is very close to my skin tone. And I like to use this on the under eye when I really just want to smooth everything out, especially on camera and in video, because I find that it just settles and sets really nicely. I don't love the way it lasts as far as all day long because I do find it is very heavy on the skin. And lately I've been really into more of a natural finish as opposed to something quite this heavy. But I do find that when I want to just smooth everything over for a full beat glam, or if I'm going out for a wedding or something where it's an evening out, where I know it's going to be photographed and I know I really only have to look really good for 5 hours and then I can take it off in the car and no one will know any better, this is definitely a go-to. Next, which are going to be the 2 that I actually discovered most recently, they are the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear and the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. Both of these I find do the exact same thing as the Shape Tape. The only difference is that the L'Oreal is going to be, Shape Tape, L'Oreal. The L'Oreal is going to be a little bit thinner, so it's not quite as heavy on the skin. And then the Camo, I use a lighter shade. That's going to be down here. I will use this whenever I want to really brighten up the tear duct area. So I'll go in with my concealer in this whole area and I'll just add a pinpoint of a lighter color just to kind of bring it all around. Formula-wise, I find this to be the closest to the Shape Tape, and all 3 of them very full coverage, very long wearing, and a little on the thicker side, but clearly Shape Tape, L'Oreal, e.l.f. Regardless of the tone that you use, I generally will mix the L'Oreal. I won't really wear it on its own, but the other 2 I have worn on their own. The e.l.f. is a little light for me, I know that, but I do really like to use that for that pinpoint brightness. So while we're talking about pinpoint brightness, this is the Jeffree Star Magic Star Concealer in the shade C4. There's a lot I love about this, and I actually have this coming in a darker color, but this is obviously way too light for me to use on its own. I have used it, and oh my god, it is so full coverage that it is way too light for me. Once I get the darker one in, I will be able to actually wear it out. I did do a full wear test and a full review on this concealer. I will link the review up here. The wear test was not done on the same day because it was on a day that I wore this on its own. I looked absolutely crazy, but I didn't have to go anywhere and I was just staying around the house, so it didn't matter that I looked absolutely insane with how bright my under eye was, but it wore so nicely, so beautifully. I cannot wait to get my hands on the actual color I need so that I can get away with wearing this out in the real world. Next, from Fenty, this is the, what is this even called? The Pro Filt'r Concealer. I wear the shade 200, which in my opinion is the perfect brightening shade for me. This is also a little on the thick side, but I find that after you blend it in and you warm it up with your finger, it does tend to spread a little bit thinner. The Shape Tape is like a thick cream. This one is creamy, but I find it blends into more of a liquid. The Shape Tape you will feel throughout the day. When I wear the Fenty, I don't really notice it's there, and it's a lot more lightweight, but I still get some great coverage out of it. Next, from Makeup Forever, this is the Ultra HD. This is such a cool concealer because a tiny bit goes such a long way. One little pinpoint, and this will blend into the entire under eye area in such a naturally finishing way. That looked way too bright, and then once I blended it out, it actually covered nicely and looked really, really pretty. This is a concealer that I can wear on its own, and I'll typically use if I want to just spot conceal my under eyes, brighten a little bit, and not be overly glam for a day. If I really just want to even out my complexion, I'll use a little bit of a powder foundation over that concealer for a very lightweight look. So the next one I have to shout out because it was a ride or die favorite for a long time, but I'm not loving so much anymore. This is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. You get more product in this for the price than any other concealer on the market. It is a beautiful concealer, super full coverage, wears really nicely. However, and this is gonna be the big one, I know they just expanded their shade range, so I have not yet looked into which shade I would be, but I was looking very yellow on my under eye, and this is why. All of their shades are very warm. I definitely need more of a cool toned or a pink concealer, and unfortunately this one just doesn't cut it for me. I would put this on, love the coverage, and I would have to use so many different types of powder or mix in foundation or mix in other concealers just to get it to be a color that I could get away with. So I still love the formula and it wears really beautifully, but until I get my hands on a more cool tone pink concealer from this line, this one's just not doing it for me. But formula-wise, if you can find a color that is a perfect match in this concealer, go for it. It is amazing. So this is one I actually brought out of retirement. This is the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. I picked this up in a full face drugstore haul a very long time ago. Like, I was still in my old beauty room a long time ago. And it is just such a beautiful, lightweight formula, blends out effortlessly, super affordable. It's like $4 or something like that. It is waterproof, it is long wearing. Basically, the list of what's great about it doesn't stop. However, up until very recently, there were only 3 shades. So Catrice has now expanded the range. On Ulta's website, there are now 17 different colors in all of these different tones for all skin tones. They even have some great deep options. The shade I have, which is shade 020, is that one, which means that all of these deeper and more medium tones did not exist. I refused to use this on camera once I realized how few shades there actually were, and now that the shades exist, I'm very happy to bring it back from retirement. So this is something that as a full coverage concealer or a glam concealer, I don't like it. But the fast-based concealer from Makeup Revolution, you guys have seen in a lot of videos. I did not repurchase the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind because I don't love this sponge tip concealer business. Same thing with this. Once I finish it up, I will not be purchasing it again. But while I have it, it is such a pretty formula. It is super lightweight. I don't love it as like an under eye brightening concealer, but if you're looking to spot correct blemishes, you're looking to really correct your skin in a way that only requires just a little tapping of product and then tapping it in and out, that's all you need. Of course, I did that on the face, so now I have to fix that. But it actually does blend nicely over powders. So if I was to take something like this, even though I did all of my powders already, if I was to take a tiny bit just to cut the cheek, I could really give myself a sharp contour and really just clean it up, especially because this is not gonna bunch up weird because there's powders already on the skin. This is gonna blend out quite nicely and really give you that sharp edge if you're looking for a nice clean contour. Correcting, putting over powder, anything you need, like if you feel your nose contour is too intense, you can totally use this to clean up the sides. If you feel like you've did your entire face and there's something you just don't love, add it on, pat it out, and all it's gonna do is kind of give you a clean slate to go back over it with whatever you need. This is like correcting retouch in a bottle. And the last concealer, this is from First Aid Beauty. It is the Bendy Avocado Concealer. I wear the shade 2, which I believe is light. This is such a pretty concealer. They all tend to read a little neutral, which on me can go yellow. So I can't go overboard with this, but it is such a pretty lightweight concealer, especially if you prefer just like a tinted moisturizer and out the door. This is something that's really going to appeal to very lightweight, super easy to wear, super beautiful. And when they say bendy, it's because it moves with your face. So if you're very expressive in the eyes, it's not gonna crease or crack or bunch or anything like that. So I will include prices down below because I know I forgot to talk about that over the course of the video. But if you guys have any questions on specific recommendations or any more info on concealers, make sure to drop them down below and I will be happy to answer them. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and I will see you guys next time. Bye.